Jake, we're gonna, we have one new hire, we have a promotion to lieutenant, we have a promotion to captain. We're gonna do the new hire, lieutenant, the promotion to captain should be here, so it'll be this role and then we already go back. Good notes. And here he is. All right. We got Lucy. Since it's three separate, we'll do three separate things here. Thank you all for coming today. This a big night for us. Yeah, if you will. This time on part-time firefighter. And we're going to be going around the zone here for quite a while. So we'll start with human power.
That's just one of the rest of the you say anything?
Okay. Okay. What's your first?
Yeah.
Great. Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Jason D. Howard, do hereby solemnly swear or affirm to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Streetsboro. That I will perform the duties of firefighter medic for the City of Streetsboro Fire Department, to which I have been appointed to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. Right there, Jason.
While you're up there.
There are my pictures?
Yeah.
Of course. Either dinner or.
He said that. Yeah. Hey, do
See
it.
how busy we are?
Hey, do it to this page.
Yeah. Help with the promotees around duty.
Two promoted.
I just two or three.
A lieutenant became through.
Congratulations.
Firefighter lieutenant. We should have level heads look at Jason Bucks the campsite.
Someone retired.
I, Pete Haley, hereby solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Streetsboro. That I will perform the duties of lieutenant for the City of Streetsboro, to which I have been appointed to the best of my ability. We got it. Congratulations.
No one's.
This is kind of leaking, so. Yeah.
I don't want to throw it out.
Here.
Oh, well, it just got smudge on. This is fine. The next one. Here. Look at this, man. I already learned the two bugles. Look at that. One nothing. He prepares a Boy Scout. Look, sir. Where's the product? Read the right there, repeat after me. I, Jamie J. Bucks,
I'm James J. Bucks.
hereby solemnly swear
Hereby solemnly swear and affirm
to uphold
that I will uphold
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the State of Ohio, and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of
of
Streetsboro.
the City of Streetsboro.
I perform the duties of captain
I perform the duties of captain
for the City of Streetsboro,
for the City of Streetsboro,
to which I have been appointed.
which I've been appointed
To my ability,
to the best of my ability.
regard.
Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Just one way or the other.
We did practice. That's Yeah, Tom, I got my son.
Get on your toes, chief.
Smile.
Hey, you still work for me. Come on up.
Marquette, so don't do that.
For those of you that don't know, this is Don Bobek. Don is retiring here pretty soon. He has been fixture at the fire department for,
39 years.
yeah, not too long.
Not that I was counting.
Don was here when I joined the fire department in 1989, and
Oh my.
he, I think he's ready to call it a day. And I'm sure Dar is probably ready for you to call it a day too. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you, Dar. I
you.
really appreciate it. And with that, we'll give you folks, we're gonna go on to our regular meeting. If you folks, you are all welcome. To government in action or government inaction. We prefer to be in action, so, we're gonna continue on and we'll give you folks a little bit of time to filter out. You can take more pictures and we'll go from there. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, feel free. You guys are fine to walk out and relax, take photos, whatever you need to do. Thank you, Mayor. We are going to begin our evening with the Safety Committee meeting agenda of Monday, September 9th. So I'm going to turn the floor over to the chair, Ms. Wagner.
My voice is loud.
We're going to smack John down.
I'd like to bring the safety committee meeting of Monday, September 9th to order. Ms. McDaniels, can you do the invocation and the mayor of the pledge?
Wait 1 second. You bow your heads and pray with me. Heavenly Father, thank you for hearing our prayers. Thank you for valuing each life in this room and each life in Streetsboro. Lord, during a week like this that we have had bookended with tragedies and evil in this world, I pray that we will all remember the importance of turning to you. Lord, you are the one who gives us safety and protects us both physically and spiritually. You are the one who comforts us when we need comfort and peace. Let us not forget that you are for us and not against us, Lord. We praise you. We thank you for your promises, and I pray that all we do in Streetsboro will bring honor and glory to you. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance. Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Caroline, please call roll.
Mr. Lombardo?
Here.
Ms. Wagner?
Here.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Present?
Ms. Glenn?
Here.
Mr. Ring? Mr. Mishniak?
Here.
Mr. Hannon?
Here.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilman Ring.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, Mr. Ring is excused. Number 4, disposition of minutes, regular safety committee meeting of August 12, 2024.
I'd like to make a motion to accept and dispose of the regular safety committee meeting minutes of August 12th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, minutes are accepted. 5, old business, there is none. 6, new business, T7657, amend ordinance number 2024-112, motives for cruisers, Mr. Kaufman.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. Good evening. This is just amending the ordinance that we had already approved for the police cruiser modems. They did not include the cost of the shipping and handling in the original quote that they sent over. It was notated at the bottom that it would be added later, but I missed that unfortunately. So this is just adding in the cost for the shipping and handling.
Hearing none,
I'd like to make a motion to send this to tonight's regular council meeting.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we'll move this to tonight's council meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. 7, citizens' comments. None. 8, announcements. A service committee meeting will immediately follow this meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
Stays,
Glenn,
stays Pearl or
Pretty
Bridge
big,
get crazy out there.
me and handshake.
Keep the mayor in check.
You're ready, Caroline. I'd like to call the Service Committee meeting of Monday, September 9th, 2024 to order. Caroline, would you please call a roll? Here.
Here. Present. Ms. Glenn? Here. Mr. Ring? Mr. Mishniak?
Here.
Mr. Hannon?
Here.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilman Ring.
Second.
First and a second to excuse Councilman Ring. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, Mr. Ring will be excused. 3, disposition of minutes, there are none. 4, old business, none. 5, new business. Item A, T7658, adopt 2024 second quarter code updates. Ms. Kramer.
This is our usual standard update of ordinances that were previously approved by council to get them into the electronic and the hard copy codes is our standard procedure.
No questions. I'll make a motion to move that to tonight's full council.
Motion and a second to move this to tonight's full council. All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, this will go to tonight's full council. Item 6, citizens' comments. 7, announcements. A special finance committee meeting will immediately follow this meeting. 8, adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Yep. Yeah. It's got the most items on the agenda too. 4 whole. I'm gonna try. You back me up. If I fall, you fill the gap. We all set? All right. I'd like to call this special finance committee meeting of Monday, September 9, 2024 to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Lombardo.
Here.
Ms. Wagner.
Here.
Mrs. McDaniel.
Present.
Ms. Glenn. Here. Mr. Ring.
Here.
Mr. Mich.
Oh, sorry.
What's up, Justin?
How about Mr. Mishniak?
I'm here.
Okay, how about Mr. Hannon?
Here.
Okay.
Now you want to excuse Mr. Ring.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to excuse Mr. Ring.
Second.
First and a second to excuse Councilman Ring. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? He is excused. The item 3 is special business T7659, assignment of the CRA agreement with Geis. Mr. O'Malia and Mr. Knott. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Thank you. The Geis companies were granted 100% real property tax abatement for the speculative building that they constructed on State Route 43 near Camelot Village. Geis is now selling that building to their tenant, a Korean logistics firm known as FNS. FNS has got about 30, while they are based in Korea, they've got about 30 offices here in America. By assigning the contract to FNS, we hold them responsible for an annual donation of $5,200 for the Floyd North Bicentennial Park, scholarships, donations to the school, and 20% of taxes otherwise due, and the creation or otherwise payment in lieu of $9,125,000 in payroll tax, which is about $182,500 in actual net withholdings. While I understand that when we granted this abatement to the Geis companies, we never actually thought the Geis companies was going to create these jobs. We knew that their tenant would. They are now selling that building and want that tax abatement to be transferred to the purchaser. The auditor just valued that building at $25,157,000. That equates to about $585,000 a year in taxes, so the math works out in our favor. Even if they were not to create a single job, it would still makes much more sense for them to pay us $185,000 a year than to pay $585,000 a year in taxes. Is there any questions?
Yeah, the assignment of the contract, was it assignable in the original agreement? And if so, do we need to execute any new documents in order to bind the new company?
That is an excellent question for the law director. I will state that we have already negotiated away. We have somewhere in the contract, page 8, item 23, requires the city to transfer the agreement to another entity if Geis makes a request, and it cannot be unreasonably withheld. We are technically over the 10 business day period, but obviously we weren't going to call a special meeting for this. So.
The agreement requires us to agree to the assignment. It shall not be unreasonably withheld. You know, that language they'll put in a lot of assignment agreements. The other agreement we would need to sign is the estoppel, which would basically say that the contract's been complied with by Geis up to now.
Up to now.
Yeah.
Does obviously the other company wants it, it's to their benefit financially.
Correct.
Do they need to execute any documents in order to be a party to it?
Well, they would be executing a document directly with Geis, but not necessarily.
Yeah, are we reviewing any of that in terms of the language that? My concern is that at some point, their worst case scenario, their business fails, it doesn't work, and we try to go back on them for whatever mitigation the city wants to try to seek, and they say, well, we never signed anything. We don't owe you anything. We're just moved. So I'd just be interested to see what their contract says, because we just have no privity with them at all. We never negotiated with them. We never talked to them. We never had them sign a document. And then if we're not going to look at what Geis is having them sign, I just want to make sure the city's covered. I don't know the answers to these things. I just would like us to look into it and see that Mr. Knott feel we're protected. Should worst case scenario, they just walk away, there's somebody to go back after.
It is my understanding, because all we are doing is saying, Geis, we allow you to transfer this to FNS. We're making no changes whatsoever to the contract or the terms. So if they want the abatement, these are the terms.
But what if they don't meet the terms? I just want to make sure they don't have, we're not creating a legal defense for them to say they don't hit the job numbers, they don't hit whatever terms we put in there.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, that's on Geist, not us. We never agreed to any.
Well, then we would say you can pay $585,000 a year in taxes, or you can, because you're going to pay us one way or the other. Would you like to say $300,000, or would you like to cut a check directly to the city?
Just see if they're willing to have Mr. Knott review the pertinent parts of their contract on that topic between the two of them, so that he feels it protects the city. That's my main concern. I really don't care about all the other terms.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see us get screwed later. That's all.
All right. I told their counsel that I would be bringing it before all of you, but I didn't guarantee that you would approve it tonight.
Yeah, I just want to, if you tell me, hey, I think we're covered, obviously they want it, but I'll plan for the worst. If the worst happens, are we covered under whatever assignment Geist makes to them?
Mr.
Oh, go ahead, Mayor. I'm sorry.
One of the things we absolutely cannot forget is that there's still a physical building there worth about $26 million that if everybody and their brother defaulted on it, someone would be paying $585,000 a year in property taxes. And so the city will not be out anything. If anything, it would be a conflict between Geis and the purchasing company, or the purchasing company and Geis. Because somebody somewhere is going to have to pay the property taxes on that building. And, something of that nature would not, it wouldn't take the auditor long to foreclose on something like that and put that building up for auction. And of course, the property taxes are going to be the first lien. So, that's the one thing that we really do have to remember.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Knott. Mr. O'Malley, that's all I have. Any other questions from council on the CRA agreement with Geis? Or the public? Nothing?
No other questions. I'll make a motion to move this to tonight's full council.
We have a first and a second. All in favor to move it to tonight's first council? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that is moved to the regular council meeting. All right, we are next moving into an executive session to consider employment. At some point, I'm gonna wanna have, you come back right away, and Shauna come back right away. At some point, I'm gonna wanna have Caroline in with all of us for a minute, then excuse her, and then have someone else in at some point after that with all of us, but we'll call for her.
I'd like to have Finance Matt come in with us too.
Yeah, Matt needs to be there the whole time. So Shauna, Mayor, Matt, and then we'll call for you, and then we'll call for the unnamed person, assuming everything goes as planned. All right, I'll need a motion to recess into executive session to consider employment.
So moved.
Second. First and a second. Is this roll call?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hannan.
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo.
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel.
Yes.
Ms. Wagner.
Yes.
Ms. Glenn.
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak.
Yes. We are in executive session. All back? All right, we need a motion to reconvene into, or out of executive session and into special finance.
So move.
Second. First and a second. We have to roll call that too.
No.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, we are back on finance. All right, T 7660, amend pay ordinance and hire temporary deputy clerk, Mishniak, that's me. I'm looking at T 7660 in the packet. It does say full-time deputy clerk, but the line item there says temporary. I think what we are envisioning looking at doing is a 32-hour-a-week position at $25 an hour. So do we need to change that from the wording from a temporary full-time deputy clerk, or should we leave it? Would that give us more flexibility, but only schedule and fund up to 32? Or what's the advice of finance and law on that? Should we not make it a full-time position and make it a part-time?
I think we should make it a part-time position and change it. When I drafted this, I wasn't aware that it would be part-time.
Okay, no, that's understandable. Does anyone want to make that motion to reflect that? I'm chair, so I can't make the motion.
I'll make the motion to amend this to reflect part-time instead of full-time.
Okay.
What section is that? Where's that?
It's in the very top part,
Okay.
And whereas
in the whereas clause.
the section,
So anywhere where it says part-time, full-time, change it to part-time.
Change to part-time, all right. Do we need to add anywhere on this document, our general consensus that we wish the position to be 32 hours at $25 an hour on average? Or can we just leave it as a part-time position and work that in through HR and scheduling and the direction to the employee? Or does it need to be actually worded in the document?
Pretty sure they say up to 32 hours.
I guess we could have something that would say up to 32 hours
Okay.
per week. I'm not sure we put that, probably in section 1.
Could we do the, as the, here, shall perform all the duties of office as determined by council and, how about that first clause, and shall not exceed 32 hours per week on average? Would that be appropriate language?
I think so.
Okay, anybody want to make that motion?
we didn't complete the first motion unless you want to combine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, let's
I made a
combine.
motion to change it from full-time to part-time.
Second.
And there was a second. All in favor for that motion? Aye. Any opposed? All right, now on to the additional language of, and said position shall not exceed 32 hours per week on average. Can I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. And then the whereas clause, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines down. The compensation and pay range is there. We'll leave that. And I think after and, council wishes to start the part-time employee at $25 an hour. And I have that motion.
So moved.
Second.
First and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, I think that covers the documents. Any other amendments or changes to this that you all can think of? Okay, assuming this passes as muster and council wishes to offer that job to the individual, do we need to do that by ordinance or can we do that off of the record? Or do we need to do that by official motion or anything?
Sorry.
You're okay.
I would do it through the legislation.
Through this legislation?
Yes.
That specific employee's name?
Yes.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for a new line in there that says whereas council,
Or do you just need section?
oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Section 1 will work, and we can amend that to 25. I'll take, since I'm chair, I can't nominate the name, but is there a motion on the floor for a particular person?
I nominate Bridget Pavlik.
All right, first, is there a second? First and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we shall insert the language there. Bridget Pavlik is hereby appointed temporary part-time deputy clerk of council, effective today. That's assuming she accepts. Sure. Yeah.
You might want to put in there my real given name.
Oh, good point. Why don't you
So-
place that onto the record for us, Bridget Pavlik?
Edith Pavlik.
Edith Pavlik, all right. We will do that.
I'll forego the middle
Edith
initial.
Pavlik, AKA Bridget.
See? See, you blown my cover now. I was in the
Now we're
witness protection program. Now I got to start over.
What, all right, you're witness protect, what's Jerome's real name?
My real name is Edith Pavlik.
All right. Are you accepting it?
Yes, I would accept that position.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Any other changes to the legislation that administration would have us do, or HR that?
We should put in what she's going to be paid. There's another blank line.
I think we did do the $25 an hour.
Okay.
We would fill that in there also. Shall be paid $25 an hour, 32 hours a week. All right. And we'll need a motion. We did pass all of those, correct? Those amendments? Only
32 hours.
Very good. All right, we need a motion then to send this to tonight's regular council meeting.
Make a motion to move T7660 to the full council as amended.
Second.
First and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, it is so moved. Announcements, there's a regular council meeting immediately following this meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. First and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
Okay.
You all set? All right. I'd like to call this regular council meeting of Monday, September 9th, 2024 to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Lombardo?
Here.
Ms. Wagner? Here. Mrs. McDaniel?
Present.
Ms. Glenn?
Here.
Mr. Ring? Mr. Mishniak?
Here.
Mr. Hannan?
Here. I'll make a motion to excuse Mr. Ring.
Second.
You were going to say Hannon, weren't you?
Let's say Mishniak.
First and a second to excuse Justin. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? He is excused. Item 3, disposition of minutes. Public hearing of August 12, 2024, agricultural placement Klein. Public hearing of August 12, 2024, Chapter 1165, and the regular council meeting minutes of August 12, 2024. Do I have a motion to accept and dispose of said minutes?
Motion to accept and dispose the minutes.
First, is there a second?
Second.
First and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? They are accepted and disposed. Item 4 is citizen comments. Any citizen comments at this time, please come to the podium. Hearing none and seeing no approach to the podium, we will move on to reports, communications from departments, boards, and commissions. Chiefs squared. Why don't we start with the police department? All right.
Mine's super short. Just a reminder that we are going to have the IED class this coming Wednesday. The information will be out on our social media, and we're also going to send out a nixle. Just because of the way the sound echoes in the city, not sure who's going to be able to hear it, but roughly 12 o'clock until 1 o'clock on, unfortunately, September 11th was the date chosen. So it'll be potentially loud, depending on where it echoes to, commercial grade explosives. So we do expect some.
It's going to be at your range?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're pretty far back, actually beyond the range, back into actually where the gravel pit's at. So it's kind of in a mostly enclosed area.
What's the date of that?
September 11th.
Wednesday, the 11th. What time does it start?
Somewhere between 12 and 1 o'clock.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get out of court. I just want to see stuff blow up. That'd be so.
That's what most people want to see.
Do I have to attend like the pre thing? Is it at the station first or no?
The class part starts at 9 o'clock and it'll be at the station.
Oh yeah, it would look bad if I just showed up for the boom booms. All right, I'll try to get there at 9.
Fair enough. But if not, yeah, if you go past the range and just keep going further back, that's where we'll be at.
Very good. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Hey, FD got some promotions today.
Yes, thank you for participating at council. So we're very happy with our promotions. Wednesday is 9/11 Memorial Service at the fire station. We honor the people that died. How long is it now? Do you know, Mayor? How many years?
It'll be 23 years.
23 years.
Yeah. I only know that because my son's born on September 11th and he'll be 21 Wednesday.
There you go.
We've been honoring him here for
2 years after.
Every year.
That's why I said he'll be 21 and it's been 23.
Month after that, but it was coming back.
Actual
from
month.
a baby doctor appointment and heard it on the car radio.
Wow.
So that'll be this Wednesday, 9:50 at the front of the fire station by the steel that was from the World Trade Center. We had a raffle at the school for a ride to school in the fire truck. And Captain Grimm sent out the pictures to council. You can see how happy the little ones were. So that happened, and we started commercial inspection. Certainly, we'll be going into all the commercial shops, the fire companies, the squads, and the engines. Besides fire prevention, to familiarize ourselves with the building, and make sure there are any minor violations. And that is it.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Knott, anything from the law?
No, I have nothing to report.
All right, Greg?
The Parks and Rec program guide should have reached the residents' homes by now. Lots of great programs that are coming up. We currently have, I think, 10 or 12 vendors registered for the Trunk or Treat event, October 24th. So that's going to start filling up fast. So we're working on that project. And then just some other capital improvement projects, some pathways and some stuff in the park that we typically get done in the fall once we have some breathing time, so to speak. So, but still staying very busy.
All right, thanks, Greg. Patrick?
Preparing for a visit with a European manufacturer.
Are yet to be named?
Of course.
Of course. You're always just
it's kind of a public
vague booking.
They don't like it.
Just getting us excited. John? That's good. Thank you, sir. Justin?
I would encourage everyone to go to City Center because it looks amazing. I'm very proud of how it came out. It is a sight to behold. So if you get a chance, please go over there. We got trees. We will soon hopefully have grass, but it's looking really good. Splash pad wise, we're still waiting on our features to come in. We're hoping to at least test it this year, but obviously not for use. But get a test in and show the Parks and Rec guys how to winterize it. But yeah, the site looks absolutely stunning. So I advise you to go and check it out.
Very good. Thank you, Justin. Miller and Miller, attorneys at law.
Nothing to report.
No.
Just a quick report. The city completed its federal audit. We did have a federal audit for 2023, and so you probably got a notification from the state that has gone through with flying colors. So we'll still be completing the city audit. They should be about another month, but at least we're done with the federal side. We don't have to do that every year. Just so happened we had one last year. So that's good news for the city.
Very good. Thank you. Anyone else? HR? IT? Computers? Nothing? All right. Part-time council clerk? No, she didn't have anything yet. All right. Next items are items containing statement of emergency. What is our first number? Our first or passage number when we starting it?
Just
I can't see that far.
129?
Thank you. I can't see that far. All right. Just to the page here, the bottom. It's pretty bad, and I race motorcycles, so. T7657, amend ordinance number 2024-112, modems for cruisers. Read by title, please.
Ordinance amending ordinance number 2024-112 to include $487.76 in shipping costs for 11 Cradlepoint 5G modems and related equipment for use by the police department in cruisers in a new total amount not to exceed $22,980.12, and declaring an emergency so the equipment can be immediately obtained.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
First and a second to suspend the rules. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hannan?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner? Yes. Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
First and a second to adopt the legislation. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hannan?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner? Yes. Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes. T7657 passes and now becomes ordinance number 2024-129. 129. T7658, adopt 2024 second quarter code updates. Read by title, please.
An ordinance approving the editing and inclusion of certain ordinances as parts of the various component codes of the codified ordinances of the city of Streetsboro and declaring an emergency so the amendments are in effect immediately.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
A first and a second to suspend the rules. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hannan?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes.
Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner? Yes. Mr. Mishniak?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
First and a second to adopt the legislation. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hannan?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes.
Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes, T7658 passes and now becomes ordinance number 2024-130, 130. T7659, assignment of the CRA agreement with Geis. Read by title, please.
An ordinance ratifying the consent to an assignment of the Community Reinvestment Area Agreement, School Compensation and School Donation Agreements, the CRA agreements, with Geis Streetsboro 43 North LLC to Route 43 North LLC, and further authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the consent to an assignment of the CRA agreements with Route 43 North LLC to 10242 State Route 43 North LLC, a tax incentive estoppel agreement, and declaring an emergency to expedite this economic development opportunity.
We have a discussion on the floor from our law department, Mr. Knott.
I wasn't really as prepared as I should have when you asked the last question. The assignment that we're being asked to sign, which also be signed by the signee, is in your packet. And I've looked over that. I've seen the other agreements, and I'm satisfied we've got what we need.
Very good, thank you. I appreciate you putting that onto the record, and I'm satisfied as long as you are. So I wanted to make sure we have the same route to take against the new assignee, the North Korean company or South Korean company. Well, I don't know if Kim Jong-un was moving in Streetsboro. You got a lot of connections, so. But
did not pick this one.
no, maybe you and Rodman brought him to the States. But I did speak to Mr. Knott on the break there, and he assured me that he's looked it over, and from what he can see, we have all the same rights and responsibilities and repercussions if they breach that we would have against Geis, and that's all I wanted to protect. So I appreciate him putting that on the record. Any other discussion before we move on?
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
First and a second to suspend the rules. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hannan?
Yes.
Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes.
To adopt.
Second.
First and a second to adopt the legislation. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hannan?
Yes.
Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Yes, T7659 passes and now becomes ordinance number 2024-131, 131. T7660, amend pay ordinance and hire part-time temporary deputy clerk. Read by title, please.
An ordinance appointing a temporary part-time deputy clerk of council, approving the job description for the position, and amending the pay ordinance effective September 9, 2024, and declaring an emergency in order to immediately appoint the position.
Motion to suspend?
Second.
First and a second to suspend the rules. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hannan.
Yes.
Ms. Glenn.
Yes.
Mr. Ring. I'm sorry. And Mrs. McDaniel.
Yes.
Ms. Wagner.
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo.
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak.
Yes.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
First and a second to adopt the legislation. Tony is just playing sly over there. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hannan.
Yes.
It's like a poker game.
Ms. Glenn.
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel.
Yes.
Ms. Wagner.
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo.
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak.
Yes, T7660 passes and now becomes ordinance number 2024-132, 132. Thank you, Bridget, for stepping up to help out during this time of need for all of us. We appreciate you doing that. Item 7, items up for first read, there are none. Items up for second read, there are none. Items up for third reading, amend to non-emergency legislation, it says in parentheses, T7642, adopt new city logo. So is this, do you mean this is just standard third read then? Does it say?
It's written as emergency in the text.
But it's actually the third read, so it's
So-
not emergency.
No, every ordinance should go through 3 readings. This is written as it would take effect immediately when the third reading and adoption is passed. Otherwise, you can do it as non-emergency, amend it to be non-emergency, and you can pass it with 4, otherwise it takes all 6 to pass it.
Yeah, this is interesting. If it in reality is an actual third read, we do not need the supermajority. We only need a simple majority. And this is factually not, and this is factually its third read. If the words emergency are in the document, though, would that trigger a need for it to be a supermajority vote? And should we remove the wording?
No, just I'd remove the wording and then do a simple majority.
Okay. I'm just nervous on this one because everybody's got their own tastes, and Greg's taste is as bad as mine. No offense to Greg. And I'd leave it to the folks that have a better eye for art and fashion than I. But I didn't want to mess this up and set us back any further. So with that, is there any motions on the floor to remove the emergency language from this document so we only need a simple majority to pass it? Can I have a motion? Anyone want to do that?
So if we don't remove it?
If we don't remove it, we need a super majority. We need a unanimous vote. Yeah. So.
But that if someone is planning on not voting for it, they could also deny the.
But the motion to amend takes 4 to pass.
Okay.
Yes.
If we don't amend, it would take 6 to pass, otherwise it would just.
Well, I'll make a motion to amend.
Jennifer already did. So are you seconding the motion?
She did? Okay.
Yeah,
Then I'll
make a
second.
motion to amend it to non-emergency legislation.
Second.
So we need a standard majority to pass that amendment. All right. First and a second, roll call on an amendment to remove the emergency clause.
So, Ms. Wagner.
Yes.
And then
Mr. Hannan.
Mr. Hannan.
Yes.
And then Mrs. McDaniel.
Yes.
And Mr. Lombardo.
Yes.
Ms. Glenn.
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak.
Yes. Okay. The emergency language is removed, and now we have T7642, adopt new city logo. Sans the emergency language. So that means without, Glenn. Just letting you know, buddy.
Refund house, all right.
You're gonna get me with that big paw again. Clerk, read by title, and this would require a simple majority to pass.
So it's a resolution approving and adopting the City of Streetsboro logo design and not declaring an emergency. It's a resolution adopting the City of Streetsboro logo design. And it's Exhibit A in your packet.
Right. Do we have a motion on the floor?
Motion to adopt.
First to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Wagner with the second to adopt. Roll call, please.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes.
Ms. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Hannan?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
No.
And Ms. Glenn?
Yes.
Mr. Mishniak?
Does it matter at this point?
You gotta vote.
You got to
Am
vote.
I the deciding vote? How many we have right now?
1, 2, 3, 4 yeses, 1 no.
So it doesn't matter, right? How I vote.
It passes. Opinion.
No, that's not an option.
If I say no, does it still pass? I want to support Lisa's stand here, but I don't want to muck up the legislation. So.
For the record, if you had removed the emergency thing, I know what I needed to do.
I agree.
Since you gave me the opportunity to voice my true vote, I appreciate that.
Thank you. And it works. Legislative. Justin's like, what is happening?
I'm so far. I'm thinking about all my change.
He's like, did it pass or not? We're still not sure if it passed. P7660, 7642 passes and now becomes ordinance number 2024-133.
It takes 30 days before the mayor signs it.
Right. Mayor, you were a yes on it, right? All right, next item on the agenda is the mayor's report. Reappointments to PERCAC. Didn't we do that already?
No, we're gonna skip that over. That person couldn't make it tonight.
Item 11, President of Council's
more
comments. Oh, I forgot it was mayor's report. I thought it was just your appointment. Sorry, sir. I am sorry. I apologize. You have the floor.
Thank you. As the chief said, we have our 911 ceremony Wednesday morning. We'll gather about 9:45. We have honored and memorialized all those folks that gave their life on 911, and we will continue to do so. And you guys are more than welcome to join us on that morning. Also, reminder, put it on your calendar, save the date, Tuesday night, 9/17 at 6 p.m. at the City Center site. We'll be having the groundbreaking ceremony. If you've driven by it, they're already moving dirt down there. So we're going to just break some ceremonial ground.
Move some more dirt.
Technically, that's still part of the infrastructure project.
Yes, there you go. So please join us. It's a very special night for the city. If you haven't driven by our unnamed restaurant that's causing us a lot of disdain, you'll notice that we did put delineators. The delineators were installed, and believe it or not, I actually had someone message me and said that somebody did a U-turn at the end of them to go into the thing.
To the unnamed restaurant.
So, I mean, try as hard as we can, but I mean, there are still going to be scofflaws out there. Justin, Billy, and I are working on some new signage and lane markings for the area in front of Family Farm and Home and turning into Portage Point Drive. It is a little bit confusing. Like the song says, signs, everywhere there's signs. And we are going to try and put up some new signage that hopefully, I'm surprised that we've not had a more serious accident there than what we've had. And I know even with the additional signage and the lane markings, we are still going to have people that say that they have to be number one, and they're going to come up the right-hand lane and they're going to want to try and get in front of everybody else. You know, when the PD does witness it, they do what they can, but you know, it's one of the things that we all need to remember is that the majority of the people that are driving that area that are that far into the city are not residents of our city. They are continuing further south on State Route 14. And, you know, it's hard for us to it is hard for us to monitor and police that. We can't put someone there for those folks that will. We know when it happens. We know about when it happens. But we're hoping that at least a few more will get the hint that, you're supposed to only turn right out of that lane. And that we should have something going in place here probably within a couple weeks. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next item on the agenda is President of Council comments. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to Glenn and Shauna, Matt, Mr. Knott for sort of stepping up in council's time of need when it had a need. I'll just leave it at that since we're on the record. And appreciate the administration coming forward and doing everything it could to help council stay status quo. Appreciate you having your administration work with us to put the nuts and bolts in place so that we could do that in a seamless manner. I think it speaks to how well council and the mayor can work together on issues and how the mayor takes serious his job as CEO to make sure there aren't bumps in the road when those bumps are up ahead, but sometimes closer than we think coming. So but thank you to the administration for doing that. And secondly, thank you to council for taking the time to work through that problem, and everyone expressed their thoughts and opinions and ideas about trying to solve that issue. I think council worked well together on that, and we were able to come together and solve a temporary problem in a way that I think is hopefully satisfactory to everyone moving forward. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I just wanted to thank everyone for doing that. And that's all I have. We'll move on to council members' comments. Tony, let's start with you.
Yeah.
You were last.
You don't get to pick. You don't pick me first. 9/11. Hopefully everyone will be there at 9:45, right? So hopefully we'll see everyone there. And Mr. Check, how tall are these trees? Are they going to provide shade? Okay. All right.
It's going to take time.
I have some people asking if they're going to be providing shade, so I told them I would ask. All right. Thank you. It looks good. It looks good. That's all.
Lisa. John. Let's just skip over Jennifer. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Nothing.
You have nothing? All right, Marianne, you're it. You got to give us something.
I took a little trip up to City Center over the weekend, and Justin, I see why you're over there daydreaming about trees and plants and, sods around the splash pad. It's to see that come to life is really just incredible. It looks fantastic up there.
We did, if I could piggyback on that comment, we did decide to go with sod. Parks and Rec had taken a trip to an unnamed splash pad, and one of their problems is they have a lot of kids creating little mud puddles when the grass wasn't growing in. So we did issue a change order to do that within the contract budget to put sod around there, and I think it was a great idea. So because technically you need 2 years for a lawn to establish itself. So by next year we should have a lawn already established because of the sod.
I totally agree with that, and I did figure that's why that was done, because I could just see a big muddy mess if that was planted just with grass seed.
Washing right into the splash pad.
Yeah, September's a good time to plant sod too. It'll hopefully last. All right. Nothing further from council members. We'll move on to item 13, announcements. City Hall groundbreaking ceremony at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. 6 p.m. Tuesday, September 17th. There will be a finance committee meeting and a regular council meeting on Monday, September 23rd, 2024, starting at 7 p.m. here in council chambers. I'll need a motion to adjourn.
Moved. Second.
First and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Because I